good to have you on the show on Atn Saturday. And of course, you know, the program is about conversation on special topics, on trending issues, and so on and so forth. So this morning, we want to start from the Rivers State. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday, but the Rivers State government from withholding financial allocations of the 42 local government areas and the state pending the determination of a suit that was brought before it. The court in the ruling that was delivered by Justice James Omotosho further directed parties in the suit marked AFHC ABJCS 537-2024, which was filed by local government chairman in the state and 9 others to maintain status quo pending the determination of the matter. More so, it stopped the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Police Commissioner in Rivers State, Director General State Security Service, SSS, and that is Director, who were cited as defendants in the matter from withdrawing the security personnel of the LG chairman, pending the final resolution of their motion on notice. The ruling followed an ex parte application. The plaintiffs argued through their lawyer, Mr. Ali Hussein. Justice Omotosho held that the Rivers State government should not frustrate or prevent the LG chairman from discharging their duties and rendering services to their respective councils till the determination of the suit. Specifically, the plaintiffs approached the court praying aid for an order of interim injunction to restrain the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF chairman, revenue mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Rivers State Government, Attorney General of Rivers State, and the Commissioner for Finance from withholding the revenue accrued to them. They also sought order of court to restrain the IGP, Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, the SSS, Director, SSS in Rivers, and AGF from withdrawing the security personnel attached to them. They equally pray the court to prohibit the defendants from preventing the enforcement or implementation of the newly amended Rivers State Local Government Law Number 5 of 2024, pending the determination of the motion. Now, in a 33-paragraph affidavit in support of the application, deposed by Dr. Chidi Lyod, chairman of Imoha Local Government Area, the chairman claimed to have been duly elected in a democratically conducted election for a term of 3 years under the provisions of the Rivers State Local Government Law. Now, you can see what we are talking about with now looking at what is going on in Rivers State, how court stops government from withholding local government allocation. But first of all, I want to introduce my guest this morning. I have the privilege of bringing in again Barrister G.U.J. Ohale. He is also a public affairs analyst. He's been a voice on the show and also a face and non-face on the show. Barrister, good morning, and I'm so pleased to have you today on the show.
Good morning.
So how are you today?
I'm doing well. And you?
It's a beautiful Saturday, of course. I'm fine. We are here again. So the stories we want to start from what is happening in Rivers State. First of all, the court in Rivers State stops court from Abuja. It stops government from withholding local government allocations. And then, you know, when I was looking at the stories, I was actually looking at the implication of these to the economy. Let me just say, yes, of Rivers State. How will it impact the Rivers government, either positively or negatively? So because you're a lawyer, I just needed your reaction on that.
Thank you very much. Well, the first thing to say there is that from what you read, the matter is sub judice. It's a subject of court. It's a subject matter that is to be determined by the court, haven't gone to court. So we may not actually dwell much on it because the matter is in court. Once a matter is in court, you don't need to make some conclusive statement because the matter is already in court, and it is said that it's the court that has the final say. When the court of first instance decides, if the parties are not okay by it, they cannot step up to appeal. So when a matter is before a court, I think individuals, they actually restrain themselves from making some conclusive statement with respect to such matter. But however, we are going to work. All I need to say in this circumstance is that if the court has restrained the River State government from doing an act, we are all law-abiding citizens, and also to promote the rule of law. It is my own take that that order should not be flattered, because the law is in the bosom of the court. Having made such pronouncement that they are barred from seizing their allocations, I think they should also maintain the order as set by the court, pending the determination of the case. All they need to do is to put up their strong reasons before the court why they should either withhold or stop the allocation, one way or the other. But everything must be done in the court, the matter having been subjected to court for determination. So all we are saying is that rule of law must be promoted, in that once an order of court is being issued, everybody must be bound by it until the court says the contrary. So all they need to do in the circumstance is to put up their strong argument before the court, to sway the court to actually fund for them. I think that is the position.
Okay. All right. Well, like you said, as you're a lawyer, you said the matter is already in the court. I think they need to maintain peace till they hear from the court, or they will hear the final verdict of the court, so that it will really help in maintaining peace and order in the states. And they also talked about praying that they shouldn't withdraw the security personnel attached to them. I think withdrawing the security personnel attached to them will also is going to cause really a problem if in that course they had to withdraw. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, exactly. Concerning the withdrawal of security security agencies, in as much as it is also contained in that order.
Okay.
Everyone must be bound by it. They will maintain status quo. No government or IGP or whomever is permitted to go country until the final determination of the case. That is the law.
Okay. All right. As a matter of fact...
I'm sorry, very sorry. You talked about also peace. Yes, I was to talk about that.
Okay.
Parties are charged to maintain peace pending the determination of the matter in court. Peace is what will actually give them what they want, because if they don't maintain peace, in cause of violence, they may commit another offense, which may now be a crime. So it is important that all parties to that matter advise their supporters to maintain peace until the conclusion of the matter in court. Thank you.
All right. That's said, for as long as the matter is on the court, I think there's a need for them to listen to the court procedures in order to maintain peace in the state. Okay, let's look at the stories coming from Anambra State. From Anambra State stories, we're going to say the Anambra State Police Command said it has arrested 2 persons for their involvement in the alleged torturing of 2 deaths of a 60-year-old man in Nza Ozubulu, a Kosigo local government area of the state. The deceased, identified as Mr. Kenneth, was tortured to death by some of his kinsmen, including members of the vigilante operatives, over a property dispute. He had sold a water tank in the family house to address some family issues, an act that allegedly prompted his younger brother to arrest him with the help of a vigilante group. The victim was said to have been tied to and continuously flogged by members of the vigilante operatives engaged by his younger brother. A source in the community said the incident happened some days ago. The man was accused of selling their family water tank. His younger brother went to engage about 5 vigilante operatives who came in to flog him. You know, they tied his two hands. They tied his two hands and continuously flogged him with sticks and other weapons until he became unconscious. They left him after they had seen that he was no longer breathing. His wife and children have been subjected to fear and intimidation as they have vowed to deal with them if they continue to seek justice for the death of their father. Okay, this is actually happening in Anambra State, how they tortured a 60-year-old man to death because he sold the family water tank to death. This is actually another case, and this is not really good even to the image of Anambra State and to Nigerians at large. And this thing happened in Ekwisigo local government area where a man who they said then took up a water tank of the family members and sold it, and his younger brother now went and also called other vigilante operatives. They flogged this man to death. Now the question is, both the younger brother, both the security operatives, the vigilante groups who flogged him to death, they all have questions to answer as regards the law, right?
That is correct.
So what can you say about that?
Well, it is now the duty of the law enforcement agents to swing into action. The law enforcement agents has to act timeously by, first of all, arresting all those who are involved in such menace. The Constitution of Nigeria stops or precludes anyone from torturing anybody. Not even the law enforcement agents has the right to torture anybody. By virtue of the highest law of the land, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you have right to freedom from torture. And that is why when you are arrested at the police station, if you are brutalized, if you are tortured, if you are malhandled, you have right to enforce your right in court. And the court will issue an order against the police for torturing you. Not to talk of a bloody civilian torturing another civilian to death. I think it's a heinous offense. And all those responsible must be brought to book. In the circumstance, the police should swing into action, arrest every one of them, and every one of them that is involved has questions to answer. Selling the family tank is not enough for them to torture him to death. I think it also calls for others to learn.
Yeah.
When an issue arose in the family or elsewhere, the first point of action is not self-help. The law has made provision for relevant agencies that are responsible for different offenses. If it has to do with finance, you know where to go. If it has to do with civil matter, if it is civil, you know where to go. Oftentimes, you can even go and report to your king, from where if they don't handle it very well, they can now go and approach the court. Now, in such circumstances, it would have been even better that they reported him to the police. And the police will arrest him and ask him, why did you do that? The tank does not belong to you. It amounts to stealing, because taking what does not belong to you is stealing. The police will handle it accordingly. He could be made to pay. But the act of torturing him to death, they went too far, and they are all liable. And it is also important for us to know, we said it here last time, that when you kill a person, you have also signed, I don't know if you remember, yeah, that when you kill, you have endorsed your own death. Those who tortured him to death have also endorsed that they are going to die, because it is a capital offense in Nigeria when you kill another. Nobody is permitted to take another's life. It is called capital punishment under the criminal code. So when you kill another person, the only thing available for the killer is death also. That is what the law provides. So having actually tortured him to death, I think they have also signed for their own death. It's just for the law enforcement agents to actually do the needful as provided by law.
Now, when this incident is sued, when the problem, came up, is theft, right? It's theft and selling a property that doesn't belong to you.
That is correct.
Although it doesn't belong to him alone, it belongs to all the family members. At that point, what is the right thing for them to do? What is the right thing for the first step that they ought to have taken before torturing him?
The first step would have been, since it's a property that is collectively owned by the family. The first thing is to...
Which is part of a member
yes,
of the family.
I'm coming to that point.
Okay.
The first thing to be done is to report to the family heads. The family head summons every other members of the family. Then the issue will be discussed. It is there they will now actually profile a measure to handle his case. Oftentimes, some family may say he's going to pay. And when they say he's going to pay, if anything comes in the family, they may choose not to give to him. They use his own part of the share as the payment. A family thing is different from when you are dealing with the external body. It is their family, all they need to do within the family, they profile a solution. But where they say, okay, that they also want to punish him for doing a wrong, they can report the matter to the police. They can report the matter to the police. But for the family to actually go the extent, all those responsible, the law does not respect that even though he committed the worst thing than selling that tank, I think the law would not still support anybody to take his life. So the best thing they would have done is to bring the matter to the family table, after which, if they are not satisfied, they can go to the police, or they can extend it to the king, or anywhere at all. But killing him is not an option at all. This is for the information of the general public. Killing somebody because he has done a wrong is not an option, in as much as the laws of the land in Nigeria is concerned. It does not matter the gravity of the offense. You are not entitled to take another person's life. If you do, it doesn't matter what the person did, your own life will go for it in line with the law.
Okay. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Let me just take that one. You said it doesn't really matter the offense that the individual has committed.
Yes.
But in a situation where someone comes to your house and the person came to take your life, and then you happen to kill the person first instead, what happens to that situation? Let's digress a little bit. Let's just go into law. Like in a situation whereby I'm just lying down in my house and then someone comes up and pick up the gun, trying to kill me. And I pick up the same gun probably and then kill him first. So how will the law look at it? Let's just go into the legal matter.
That is very simple.
Okay.
The first thing is that you raise a defense of self-defense.
Okay.
First of all, it must also, from the surrounding circumstances, be proven that the circumstance you have analyzed is actually what happened. You were just lying down, unknowing to you, someone came with a gun, but you overpowered him and maybe eventually killed him with his own gun. So you raise a defense of self-defense. But remember, the law will look at the surrounding circumstances to know whether the law will look at the mens rea and the actus reus. That is the intent and also the external part of the offense. Do you have, did you form the intent, or it happened just by sudden? and in course of defending yourself, you overpowered and kill him, you will still be charged. But what happens in court is that you can validly raise a defense of self-defense, in as much as it happened in a way and manner you said it here. That is the position.
Okay, so and then there should be forensic expert that will come into to ascertain if what the person is saying is truth or not, right? And the person may be freed or not, because yes, I can really believe that if you take one's life, you have to go in for it. But in a case like this, it's somehow to me, and I know the public finds it also difficult to understand it. But once the person, like you said, rightly said, the person is ready to provide the reasons or self-defense, as in proving that it is for self-defense. He's trying to prevent himself from death, and that is why he killed the other person. I think the law will know how to handle it. The person may go free as well, but the person will also be charged as if. But maybe it will not be the court that will give the...
It is the court that will decide.
Okay.
Indeed, it is the court that will decide. That is the position.
Okay.
The police may not, at that point, leave the person because he has said that he came to kill him and he killed him first. All the police will do is that they will put down all they gathered. It will form, what he has just said, will form part of the police investigation. That this is the circumstance upon which this fellow died. So the court will now have a final determination, but they have a valid defense.
Okay, well, that's correct. So whatever be the reason, like the younger brother of this man, the younger brother of a man, the said man who stole their family property and sold it, shouldn't have been tortured. That is quite inhuman treatment meted to this young man. And not really a young man, he's a 60-year-old man. But then, at some point, the family members, even the wife, that means it was planned, as in they already had that intention to kill him. Because the family members, the wife, the children, they are facing the threat that if they should go and seek for justice of what killed their dad, that they are also going to kill them. That means it's already a pre-planned...
yes, it means there is an intent. It might be as a result of, there is premeditation. There is as a result of, a long-time dispute. A lot has been harbored in their minds. Maybe the internal issues may have been going on for a very long time. They're waiting for the day something may happen, and they could rely on that to actually deal with him. And that day becomes the day they may say, you have entered the trap, things of that nature. So I think in the circumstance, they actually premeditated it, but for whatever it is, I think the police should do a very thorough investigation, bringing all those who are responsible, those who contributed in one way or the other, to book, by charging them accordingly, so that the court can look at it, look at the evidence available, and do the needful.
All right. Well, that's how much we can take on that one. You've seen what is actually going on. That's from Anambra State. So if you, in case you have such a situation in your family, you hand them over to the police, you hand the individual over to the police, and the police will now take the person to court, and if the person is actually guilty and not remorseful or whatever, the person will also be convicted, and the proper punishment will be meted upon the individual. Than taking one's life, there is nothing that would actually push or motivate or make an individual to take another person's life, and that's really huge, because once you kill, you're going to go in for it. Now let's look at another one, a building collapse in Kano. Although we've been looking at this, this is just a developing story, because yesterday we didn't record any death, but this morning they said 3 persons have lost their lives following the collapse of a 3-story building in Kuntao area of Gwale, local government area of Kano State. Now, that's a building. The National Emergency Management Agency confirmed the incident on Friday. The NEMA Kano coordinator, Dr. Nuruddin Abdullahi, said 2 others also sustained injuries during the incident. It said, "We received a distress call today, Friday, around 9:30 a.m. from a Good Samaritan that a 3-story building under construction has collapsed in the Kuntao area of the state. 5 persons were rescued and were rushed to the Molitala Mohammed Hospital, where 3 among them were confirmed dead, while the remaining 2 who sustained the injuries are currently receiving treatment." And he explained that the rescue operations were still ongoing to rescue others who might have been trapped in the rubbles. Personnel from NEMA and State Fire Service, Police, Red Cross, NCDC, and SEMA are involved in a rescue operation to rescue the remaining persons trapped in the building, Abdullahi said. Now, also speaking, the public relations officer of the Kano State Fire Service, Saminu Abdullahi, and media crew, that personnel of the agency, we are still trying to rescue the remaining victims. We got a report of the incident, but our men are still at the scene of the incident trying to rescue the victims. Lagos State, okay, that's what they said. We've just gotten to the end of that story in Kano. Now, we are, like yesterday, we are looking at how why this should happen. Yesterday we looked at these stories, but this morning there was an update, and the update is that 3 lost their lives, and as a result of someone's carelessness, either from the government, from the engineers. Like yesterday when we are analyzing this issue, we're looking at it, what is really the cause of all these problems. But the major thing is, now how can we prevent further building collapse? What areas do you think we can, Nigerians can prevent building collapse? Is it coming from the engineers? Is it from the landlord? Is it from the agency? I just want you to look at it in its entirety.
Thank you very much. It is simple. It is coming from the government.
Okay. How?
We have the Standard Organization of Nigeria, and we also have the Nigerian Buildings Road Research Institute. All these organizations are charged with these responsibilities. The SON is charged with the responsibility of certain standards: metrology, laboratory, testing and certification. The NBRRI has a duty to actually ascertain the type of materials that are used for road building and building itself, testing it, ensuring that the measurement with respect to weight, in case it's rod or anything, is up to standard, looking at international standard and local conditions. Now let's talk about Standard Organization of Nigeria Sons. They have the responsibility of certain standard of every commodities. They also have that responsibility of metrology, which has to do with the measurements. If you are producing anything in Nigeria, they will ensure that the measurement with which you are using will actually give us the best quality. It is not if you are doing or producing a thing, you will undermeasure for more profit. It is the duty of SON to ensure that every company in Nigeria trade within this ambit of producing the best quality for Nigerians. Let me tell you what happened before now. I know they have actually tried to correct it with respect to road. A time came, buildings were collapsing all around in Nigeria. Everywhere you hear incidents of building collapse, this is what it has been long we had it. Do you know what happened? The people manufacturing rod undermeasured whatever they use in producing rod. They reduced standard drastically. The one they call 12 mm, they were now using it as in 16 mm. That is too many wrong things were happening in that industry where they produce rod. But later, when they saw all this, they came in and said, no, this cannot be happening. And now they have what is called new mode. If you are buying rod, you will appreciate what I'm saying. They now have what they call new mode. If you now go to buy rod, they will now ask you whether is it the old mode or the new mode. The old mode is now those ones they have actually under-measured or substandard ones. Let's use this word. While the new mode are the one they actually try to do up to standard. So area that seems to be working. But every other agency, they are just there. I don't know, let me not use a wrong word on air, but they are just there. Is it the NAFDAC? Even this one we are talking about, nobody hears of them because they are not taking up any serious responsibility with respect to why they were created. Now, we'll talk about, okay, now, so now, when we have talked about the metrology, how they can measure it, now you talk about testing and certification. They ensure that those goods, those materials are up to standard. When they now test it, they will not issue certificate to the company, certifying that those goods are up to standard. That is the real thing to be done. Now, the NBRRI, which people may not have been hearing at all, Nigerian Building, Road and Research Institute, they are charged with this responsibility of seeing that every material used in building a house, road, are standard materials. But they are not working. If they are working, I think that most of the cases of building collapse will not be in Nigeria. It may have been brought to the barest minimum, maybe with respect to engineers' negligence, but oftentimes this time it is not just only the negligence of the engineer that is contributing, it is as a result of substandard materials. Particularly in this era where they say we have inflation, almost all the companies in Nigeria have reduced the standard of their goods. And this is the time SON and NBRRI should step up, and people will hear their voice, because it is very serious in Nigeria now that every company producing one goods or the other have reduced their standard as a result of inflation. They increase the price, not only increasing the price, they still reduce the standard. And I queried a particular firm or company one day. I asked them, if the price, you have increased the price as a result of inflation, why did you also reduce? So they use this as an opportunity. This inflation in Nigeria, people have used it as an opportunity to also defraud Nigerians.
Yes.
They are using the inflation to defraud Nigerians. I call it conspiracy against ourselves. You go to a shop, something you bought for 5 naira yesterday, let me not mention 5 naira so people may not laugh, because there's nothing you can get 5 naira now.
You cannot even get anything like that.
Yes. So something you bought for 500 naira today, you go to the same shop, he has not gone to any new market. He will tell you that now the price is 600. How did you get this information? He said that is what they are selling now. So people have conspired against themselves. Now, we are not talking about that is for the retailers. For the manufacturers, the same thing goes on. They intentionally reduce the standard of their goods because the agencies are not working. If this kind of thing is something that the law enforcement agents were to actually control, I think the police, ever since this inflation, they would have swung into action, trying to find out why are you doing this, why are you doing that. But these people who have just mentioned, among others, the SON, the NBBRI, they are just, they are quiet. Yet money is being voted to those organizations. There is no doubt about that. But what are they doing? I think these organizations should step up because they contributed to the collapse of this building by implication. So that is why I say it's a government problem. Let me relate it. It's a government problem. The government has to ensure that those organizations are working. If the head is not ready to work, you change it. Last time we were talking about change here.
Yes.
If the head is not ready to work, you change the head. When you have head, the body must be forced to work.
Because the head of the body is going to make sure that there is proper supervision.
Exactly.
Because if you don't carry out the proper supervision like this one, you will be hearing this news. And look at lives is involved. Look at the building incident now. If the person at the apex is not supervising, checking what is happening, like calling out the engineers, you know, because yesterday when we talked about it, there was no death, as a matter of fact, yesterday evening.
Yes.
And we were talking about it on Press Roundtable. Now we're looking at it that they have to, the organization, or there should be a body that supervises these people. You know, like the engineers, some of them need to be, brought together, have meeting, have awareness, sensitization, and tell them they need to reduce it, to put this to the barest minimum.
Yes.
Because last time we heard what happened in Lagos, our building collapsed. And this is not just only one building, it's about how many buildings, about 3 or 4 buildings that collapsed. And people died as well. But so we are looking at it in this way, like, let's say there is, it's only a foundation that is meant to carry 2-story building, and they will put it 4-story building in order for them to make profits. So it is now the nation make a close scrutiny of what is happening at the foundation level. Because once the foundation is already been done, or maybe the rod, like you said, they use a substandard something, a substandard materials to build construct the building. I think it's also going to give birth to a collapse.
Yes. If you watch that picture, you see the way the rods are bent like this.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, if you watch the picture. So I think we have a Nigerian Society of Engineers. You can see it there. We have Nigerian Society of Engineers. You know, when organizations are working, it is their duty to summon all these bodies, if possibly tell them some punitive measures that will follow if they don't do the right thing. Procure the right material, because another angle again is that the right material may be in the market, but as a result of the urge to make more profit, you use a material that is for a story building to do 3-story building. I think you will not get the best result. You will not get the best results. So the engineers also should be called to order. They should also be called to order. Because you do not economize materials for your personal profits and claim lives, then that your money becomes blood money.
Yes, that
becomes blood money. Because you know that the aftermath of what you are doing is a collapse. And you know that in every collapse, people could be trapped. You know, in cause of they are being trapped, death could occur. So now you know all that. It is foreseeable that when you are building a house, and you know this house is earmarked for 4 stories building, and you as an engineer, you know the depth of the foundation, and also look at the type of soil. You look at the type of soil, you know the depth, you know the type of soil. If it is a soil that cannot carry a 4-story building, because some are swampy, before you can be able to venture into that, you must have enough capital, because oftentimes the money you can use to put a deck can enter in the foundation. So if they don't have that capacity, you will advise them that in this area, this and this is what ought to be done for us to have a 4-story building. But if you cannot think we can do a story building or 2 here, So the engineers also has to step up, do relevant tests before they actually site a building. Do soil, look at the soil and honestly, they need to come up. I think it's a slide on the side of the engineers. In fact, it's a very wrong thing on their own side. The engineers, they're embarrassing Nigerians. It's an embarrassment because people out there in civilized societies, seeing how buildings are collapsing, they will actually ask for whether we have true engineers in Nigeria. So I think the Nigerian Society of Engineers should actually take it off from there and ensure that every building that is being constructed by any one of them is actually very solid to avoid this kind of things.
Exactly. So because this now we go a very long way in preventing death is going to go a long way in preventing, first of all, building collapse. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're venturing into, you just make sure that you get it on the level of standard, not the substandard, because it's going to be detrimental. Lives is involved, human beings is involved in protection of lives, and not just on the property or the money that you make out of the building. You just have to look at safety first and this foundation. Well, at this point, I want us to go on a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at other stories coming from education in the universities. So stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
right, we are so pleased to have you back to the studios of Atlantic Television Network, where we are bringing to you Atn Saturday. All right, so this morning we want to also look at the stories coming from Lagos. The Lagos State Government, through the State Environmental Protection Agency, last April, had sealed up churches, hotels, bars, and other establishments across various areas of the state due to alleged noise pollution. The affected facilities are located around Ifako, Ejaye, Aboshan Estate, Abuleba, Alagbado Command, and Dokpemu of the state. The State Commissioner for Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, discloses via his ex-handle on Friday. According to him, the affected facilities are the Catholic Church, 1602 Hotel, 7th Heaven Bar and Lounge, Lareta Hotel and Suites, God's Porch Ministries, and Wonderful Bible Prayer Ministries. Others include White Pavilion Hotel, Quest Hotel and Suite, Excel Hotel and Suite, and Honeycomb Confectionery Limited. The closures are deemed temporary and are aimed at enforcing compliance with environmental regulations. LASEPA therefore stressed the need for businesses to adhere to environmental standards to avoid sanction. The agency, however, explained that the closure was part of the ongoing clampdown against noise pollution in the state. Now, recall that several religious houses, hotels, event centers, clubhouses have been shut recently over the same noise pollution offense. It is instructive to know that the standard approved noise level in residential areas shall not exceed 55 decibels during the day and 45 decibels at night. So we're talking about, as you can see, her ceiling, there are all of them. Now, government said, Lagos State government have sealed churches, they have sealed hotels and lounge and bars over noise pollution. Now, the question is, are there other areas they can achieve it instead of just sealing it? Because I believe there are so many of them they sealed. And I believe before you could seal such a, and is a place of investment whereby people make money. But as a result, as a matter of fact, they also have to comply with environmental regulation agencies. That's they have the power to do that. They did it. Can't they look at it that give them warning, give them query, and tell them, if you do this, then you're going to face this? Because sealing all of them at the same time shows that they want to exercise just some powers. What's your reaction on this Lagos sealing churches and hotels over noise pollution?
Well, you were right when you said they would have actually maybe have written them a letter. Not just that. Actually, if there is anything that the noise is actually working against, it's not enough to say noise pollution. The question is, the noise, is it causing any harm to the environment? Because I know that those churches and hotels, they are knowing that it's a place of worship of God. You are sealing it, the God that is holding your own life. You seal up where he's being worshipped. I think it's a very wrong thing. The action and vis-a-vis the hotel is highly condemnable and what I may describe as a naked display of political power. Now, if you look at it very well, you may see that with respect to sealing up of the hotel, it may be politically motivated, because we have had a lot of that in the past within Nigeria here, where if a particular hotel or investment is owned by someone in your opponent, you try to see how you construct a road that will actually traverse it. Then from there you pull it down. So with respect to sealing of those hotels, you may not be surprised to hear that it is politically motivated. Now, on the
can come later, when they must have issued warning, given them queries, and they fail because there are some persons that like flouting orders, and when you flout orders, you're also going to be disciplined. But just waking up and say, I don't think that's what he did, but it appears like that. It has the appearance of waking up in the morning and say, I want to see these churches, I want to see this lounge, I want to. But now the question is, they have done it. What is the impact of this sealing? What do you think is going to be? What do you think is going to be the impact on the society?
Well, the society generally will. I think, although it depends on individual judgment, because when you talk about society, society is made up of those who are supporters of the people that see it, and those who actually are and those who are the victims of their act. So now we'll look at what it is in the real sense.
Okay.
Now, in the real sense, what it is that government actually has the power to do a thing if it is guided by law in the real sense. Now, we know that we have noise pollution, which actually, even in Nigeria, if the Nigerian government wants to fight noise pollution, if the Lagos state government wants to fight noise pollution in Lagos, I think that the real thing is not to start with the hotels and the churches, because there are areas in Lagos where the noise that is being produced is more than the ones produced by the churches and the hotel they have sealed. They would have actually, in fact, it would have been a thing of public awareness first. You create the awareness that in Lagos we want to curtail noise. Okay. Everybody will be at alert that Lagos State is set to curtail noise. Those who are generating noise will now actually start curtailing their noise. Then they get it by that it may be politically or religiously motivated. But I'm expecting you to ask me a particular question. Okay. That what is the way out? Okay. Yes.
So go ahead and tell me and tell us what the way out is.
Yes, the way out is that,
because I believe this is going to adversely affect the economy.
Yes.
It's going to affect employment. It's going to affect, because those people, they also pay tax. So once it affects them, as a matter of fact, going to also affect the government.
Yes.
Because the money accruing from there will also be used to pay as tax. So, and then if you then don't pay the salaries, the owners are not making money. The government will also invariably not make money. Is it not true?
It is true.
So now, what is the way out? To me, I believe that they have, not just only state governments of Lagos State, but I think Nigerians, each of the 36 states, they have to sit down and say, this is a body that is going to look into this matter. And this is a bill. There should be a bill that will be passed to say, once you cross over this, and so that they will know that they are really operating on a certain standard. So on your own,
the way out now, okay, respecting the sealing of the hotel and churches, is to approach the court to set that sealing order from the government aside, challenging their power to seal off that, either for non-compliance with relevant notices, letters. They will go to court and set it aside, asking that the court set aside the sealing order by the Lagos State government. So I think the hotel owners and the body responsible for those churches, they can approach the court challenging that act of the government. Government act can be challenged in court. So they will have to go to court to challenge it.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, and as a matter of fact, whatever you know that could cause breach of peace, that could actually cause noise pollution in the society, we also need to watch it. Because once everything is really out of hand, it's going to cause problem as well. So even all those lounges, the hotels, and the clubs, the bars, you know, that we receive noise from, noise pollution, like, and even churches should also, you know, as a matter of fact, they also have to be very careful where they site churches. You understand? Because the moment you site it where people are residing, like you site it in the middle, whereas in the middle of residential areas, is also going to cause noise pollution. You know, depending on what, you know, depending on the level of it, because church should be church.
Yes, the whole thing still boils down to government. You are aware that before a building is being erected, that's what they call building approval.
Okay.
And before an approval is given, what you want to do on that land is being prescribed. If it is filling station, they will now tell you that no, you can't site filling station here. If it is church, they still have the same right to say, no, this area is this, you cannot site a church here, knowing that generally church actually produces noise. But I know that we are going to the era where if you are in a church talking, somebody outside could barely hear you because of maybe a kind of proof within the building. Yes, so we are going to that era. But however it is, for you to have approved a particular site for a particular purpose, means it's fit for that purpose.
Okay.
So for ab initio, the sites where those hotel and church are being sited were approved by Lagos State government. And there is no hard and fast rule about that because the building passes through approval. And having approved it, okay, peradventure, let's say that as at that time, maybe the place were not what it is now. And if for any reason there is a need for relocation, I think it must not be so autocratic.
Okay.
They must pass through a due process to ensure that they don't hurt their activities. What they have done now hurts their activity. That's the point I'm trying to buttress.
All right. All right. Okay, that's the much we can take on that. Let's look at what the Vice Chancellor of Tafawa Balewa has said. The outgoing Vice Chancellor of Tafawa Balewa University, ATBU, Bauchi State, Professor Muhammad Abdulaziz, has advocated that drug tests should be administered on lecturers and not students alone. The Don made this known while delivering his valedictory speech to the Senate of the university on Friday. It said as such, if students would undergo drug tests, I felt that even some of us, the staff, need to undergo this drug test so that we know our status, because we cannot be asking our students to go for drug tests whereas we are not conducting the test. We also have to volunteer to have this test done to us because we have to sanitize the university. The character is very important for all of us. If the students are to be subjected to drug tests to determine their mental health status, nothing is wrong if the lecturers too are subjected to the same test. That is the only way to check excesses in the university system. Now, according to him, these will further sanitize the university system and promote sanctity as well as academic excellence. Other than that, we have discussed with the Federal Ministry of Education, and they want to introduce to all universities that before any student will be registered in the universities, he must undergo drug tests. Now, this VCU, seeing that, noted that the modest achievements recorded in the areas of infrastructure development, academic content development, and community services during his tenure could not have been possible without the support of all stakeholders in the system. He thanked the federal government for the support rendered to the university through the Federal Ministry of Education and its various agencies like the National Universities Commission and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. Now, that's the story of the Vice-Chancellor, Abubakar Abdulaziz. And he is actually talking about that lecturers as well should undergo drug tests, because this is actually what is going on. Because of what is happening in the university right now, a lot of people are abusing drugs. A lot of students have been, caught. Most of them are being prosecuted. Most of them are being expelled, and then, yes, rusticated from the school because of drug tests. So this Vice Chancellor is of the opinion that for them to have a good system in the university, the lecturers as well need to be checked. They also need to be subjected to drug tests. What's your reaction? What's your take on this? What's your take on this? As a matter of fact, I supported him, so I don't know you. If yes, I don't know if it's queer to say some lecturers should just come up and have themselves to be tested on drugs. So let's just discuss about it. Let's talk about it. What's your reaction on this?
Well,
do you think it's going to go a long way in achieving
yes,
a very wonderful system, a very nice system in the university?
Yes. In fact, the test should start with lecturers, not just the students. The test should start with lecturers, is very correct. When they are through with the lecturers, then the students will follow suit. You cannot subject the students to drug tests when the lecturers, most of them are drug addicts. It will be a wrong and exercise in futility, because the students copy from the lecturers, and if the students are checkmated, stopped, whereas the lecturers are in, they will copy again. So it will not actually give the result or the yielded result they expect. It will not yield a good result. The right thing to be done is to start with the lecturers. When the lecturers are sanitized, it is what the lecturers has that they give to the student. You don't give what you don't have. You don't try to stop the students from drugging while you are into drug. It does not work that way. So it has to, I support him. The lecturers must be tested first. And I think he has and his opinion is respected.
So what other reasons do you think the lecturer should be tested first? What other reasons do you have? Is it because, do they really do this in the front of the students, or do they send some students to go and get drugs for them? What other reasons do you think?
It may interest you that there is nothing a father does that the children do not know. Even the man seems to be doing in the secret, the children still know. So it is clear that if the lecturers, some of the lecturers are into drugs, that some students know. If one knows, he will still tell others that so lecturer, you understand me, does it. And they will say if the lecturer does it, then there is no wrong in them doing it. So the reason is obvious that the lecturers, first of all, must be sanitized before you can be able to properly sanitize the students. It has to start with the lecturer.
Yeah, because now, you know one of the why I said yes. This lecturer that is involved, I think is being currently in the custody of the police, being prosecuted. They are prosecuting him of sexual harassment. Most of them could be as a result of drug, as a result of abuse of drug. I don't know if you've read that story. It's actually going around in the social media, on the internet, where they caught up a lecturer, and I've seen a lot of them molesting students.
Yes.
In the school.
Yes. I will tell you a life story, but I may not mention them.
Okay.
I had a conversation with someone yesterday,
okay,
whom I believed that she's still running her HND and within.
Okay.
So, but only hearing from her that the HOD was bent on sleeping with her, to the extent that she brought her mom, and the HOD told the mother one-on-one, why can't she do what others are doing? I'm telling you a life story. So, which made her now to leave that particular school to another one for her HND. So, it boils down to what you're saying. Someone to look at someone's mother and say, why can't your daughter do what others are doing, is under the influence of drug. You cannot just say that with clear eye. You must be under an influence. Alcohol cannot even do that. Sorry. Alcohol cannot even, it must be. So that's what
it has something beyond
alcohol.
Yeah,
that's something beyond alcohol, sir. You know? He told this, she said that the man told the mother, why can't your daughter do what others do? Is she a baby?
Wow.
I'm telling you. Now, that is one. Another one, I am tempted to mention the name of the school, but let me still leave it now.
Please
now, this one happened. I actually, my sister told me that all the problems she has in that school is as a result of their HOD. I say, how can? And I went there. After us discussing, and the man respected me and everything, he agreed that the girl come back another day and they will take it off from there, sort her result and everything. The day she went alone, he didn't know that she was recording the whole conversation.
Good.
And after everything, she sent it to me. The man left the whole thing we discussed and started talking another thing. How they can go out first and all those things. She recorded everything and see whether I've seen what she was telling me. That is the problem. And now that girl is no longer, the girl is not in any school. She's even considering whether to take JAMB again and how to go to another school. So what we are saying is that all these things, drug could be contributory to it. Because no normal human being that will not have the feelings of others. And these people, they are your children. You put yourself in their shoe. You don't even feel their pain, because there are people that no matter how you pressurize, they will not still succumb to what you're asking. There are people like that. And those people, the only way is that they may just leave you and your school. So you can see the harm. Some of them, it's not that they are even asking if it doesn't work out for them, they give up. No, they as if it's a right. So I'm thinking that we are using this medium to sensitize the public. I keep saying government problems, sir. Our government is failing. In fact, our government is failing us. The government of Nigeria, they are failing us in some areas.
Yes.
In some areas, because I still give it to them areas they are doing well. I think last time we spoke on that, and it was as if I'm holding brief for the government.
Exactly.
Yes, but I say that the issues that has to do with public schools, that is why you see people take their children to private schools. It's because the administration of public schools is deteriorating, is collapsing, and nobody is doing anything. That is the problem. Now, up to university, people prefer their children going to private university. Even from pre-nursery to tertiary institution, they don't test government. The scenario we have just painted cannot happen in a private school. It can never happen. But the same thing could be achieved in the government school. There were days when it was not so in the same Nigeria. The problem is overlooking government parastatals, government agencies, organizations, overlooking their activities, not being mindful of what happens in those sectors. I think that is the problem. For instance, you look at all the polytechnics we have in the states of Nigeria. you look at the universities, the activities of the vice chancellors, the activities of the HODs, and every other high-ranking officer in the school body, how is it being checkmated? How is it being checkmated? And that is why they see themselves as a lord, if not a HOD that takes instruction from a vice chancellor, not even from governor, cannot be so arrogant to tell somebody that your daughter should do what others are doing. He has seen himself as a lord, that nobody, that even though, that in fact, that nothing will happen. If government will actually set up a body that will be charged with the responsibility of investigating the activities of the high-ranking officers in the universities, in the secondary schools, and all what, I think we'll have a better education. Last time I told you that when we are talking about health sector, that the problem, the health sector is not, or the health system rather, is not the building. You recall I said that, that the health system is the level of manpower you have. The health system is the equipment you have. I said so. Now, what is educational system? Educational system is it to come and build a 3-story building. The 3-story building is good, but that is not the educational system.
Yes.
The educational system is the level of manpower they have, the activities that are going on in that particular academic environment. That is the educational system. How equipped is the library? In the lab, how far is it equipped? Then the attitude, the behaviors of the lecturers. Then the HODs, head of departments, because their own problem. In fact, if you talk about 10 universities, before the VC said nobody even hears of the VC, they will just tell you HOD. The vice chancellors of various universities in Nigeria, what are they doing towards the attitude of the HODs? How many HOD have they taken their case up to serve as a deterrent to others? HOD are becoming so powerful, dreading and terrorizing students, causing some students to discontinue. I think the government should use this medium and look into the problem of students related to HOD problems. The vice chancellors of various universities should also not be overlooking their activities. So, to my mind, the government at the center should form a body. In those days, I recall, when I was in primary school, sometimes they would tell us that inspectors are coming. It is no longer like that today, I guess so. Or if those inspectors are only for primary and secondary, I think there is something wrong. You should cut across the tertiary institutions in Nigeria. If you talk about infrastructure, Nigeria has a good infrastructure with respect to education. Anytime they talk about education, let not the mind of the government be running towards building skyscraper. No. They should think of having a good administrative system, void of corruption, intimidation, threats, sexual harassment.
It's too much.
So if they start looking towards this way, you see that those who are sending their children to private schools will reverse and start exploring what they have in government school. I think that is my take.
Now, I just want to respond, first of all, when you said that the person you know faced sexual harassment, and the other one took the mom, and with all, then the lecturer also had the guts and the temerity to say to the mom, why can't your daughter do what you're supposed to do? And the second one that said she also recorded the conversation. But the question, instead of her leaving the school, why not report to the appropriate authorities? Are there not senates who are overseeing the affairs of the students and then the lecturers? Because she is supposed to, once it is, because yes, you see all these things we are talking about is actually happening in the universities. Most of them act like those who are mentally distressed, those who are suffering from psychosis. And you see the way they behave, because you can't be a harassant if you do not belong to anywhere. Maybe where they are saying you should be using, according to some guys, they will say that some of them, because of what they are involved, you know, the secret activities of theirs, always prompt them to say they want to be sleeping with different ladies, you know, here and there. So if not that, they need to also check their mental capacity, their mental state. Not everyone a lecturer, not everyone called a lecturer is in good state. Not just everyone
of mind
or in good state of mind. So I think there's a need for them to do that. And also, when the body will also have to look at it that if this lecturer, if there's any report against you, you should face suspension. You'll be suspended. There will be interrogations. There will be investigations that will be carried out. Like the young girl, yes, I feel for her. That was why, you know, one day, a lady was asking me, have you not been harassed? Like, have you not slept with a lecturer? I was so surprised, like, wow, like me of all persons. I say like me of all persons, I knew it was really not like this now. But we always notice one or two lecturers who are so notorious that they will always seize your, you know, your papers and all of. I remember that was in my GS 101 or something like that, because the lecturer was just so, you know, he's always accused of harassing people sexually. So when our result, me, my friend and I, ours did not come. So she was like, I sat her and I said, now, instead of us to go to the lecturers, we have to apply to see our own result. It was hidden because we made it, but it was like hidden. So we don't want no one to. We had other we had other means of solving our problems. Now you cannot, because if you're flaunting, a lot of students also having their own problems, flaunting themselves to the lecturers.
Yes.
Because once you do not know anything, if you are just there passively in the school, definitely you will also be subjected
You'll be
to that.
vulnerable.
You'll be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But so there are lecturers who are doing it because the students made it easy for them. You know, made it easy for them to, because once you're available, a man will know that you're available.
Yeah, that's true.
Once you're available, yes, men will know that this person is available, so I have to go for her. But now those ones, these are the ones in their right senses who really have that natural propensity of misbehaving, you know, fiddling with women and all of that. But we are talking about these people who do this in a local parlance. We call it oncolos.
Yeah.
There are lecturers who are actually on oncolos. Like when you abuse drugs, when you take it, it will make you to do certain things that you're not supposed to do. So if the federal government will look into this matter, what the outgoing vice chancellor said, that they have to be tested as well as testing the students.
Yes.
Because if you don't test the students, these are the people that you see that this person have murdered this, he has killed this person. But if you not test the student, as a matter of fact, you test the lecturer before you take them. Take the lecturers, ascertain their mental capacity, their mental health. That will go a long way in sanitizing the system.
The entire system.
The entire system.
It will be a sanitization of the entire system.
Yes,
and not parts. Yes, and not
just parts. You're concentrating on the student, but you're not concentrating on the lecturers. Not just building infrastructure. Yes, it's good. So the federal government also has to look into this matter. Because this is actually a very serious matter.
It's very serious. It's very
when it comes to drug abuse,
it's very serious.
You know, they do cocaine, they do all sorts of loud, and these are drug abuse. So because if you are tested of anything and they said you are positive, you are not capable, except you really want to be that which you are called.
Yes.
Well, that's about you can take on that stories. We are actually talking about what goes on in the universities, tertiary institutions, and the universities, and as well as secondary schools. Because I know there are some students in secondary school who also abuse drugs. They smoke, not just only smoking, they abuse drugs, and even lecturers. And once you're a lecturer, you are assumed to be the epitome of knowledge there. Some people, because people will look onto you, the students will look onto you. But if you are seen as a man who abused drugs, you won't have that temerity. You won't have that boldness to talk to people and say, you shouldn't do this. No. But once you desist from such acts and you're sane, you can now give order. You can now teach people. You can now lecture. And they will now take it in. Because people watch you by your actions, not just what you say. Now we want to go to another story. President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of Mr. Jim Ovia, CFR, renowned banker and businessman, as the chairman of the board of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund. That's the Ben on the screen with our president. Mr. Ovia is a founder of one of Nigeria's leading banks and a respected business leader with a sure feet of effort and benefaction towards nurturing and empowering young Nigerians. He is an alumnus of Harvard Business School and holds a master's in business administration from the University of Louisiana. The National Student Loan Program is a pivotal intervention that seeks to guarantee sustainable higher education and functional skill development for all Nigerian students and youth. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, the implementing institution of this innovation, demands excellence and Nigerians of the finest professional ilk to guide and manage. The president believes Mr. Ovia will bring his immense wealth of experience and professional stature to this role to advance the all-important vision of ensuring that no Nigerian student suffers a capricious end to their pursuit of higher education over a lack of funds, and of ensuring that Nigerian youth, irrespective of who they are, have access to higher education and skills that would make them productive members of society and core contributors to the knowledge-based global economy of this century. That's Chief Ajere Ngalale, Special Advisor to the President Media and Publicity, said this actually yesterday, being Friday, 26th day, and the month of April 2024. Now, when the story came up, we actually looking at some persons say that, and there are other persons. Is it because of he schooled in the Harvard? He had qualifications from the Harvard, and he is this and that. That is why, and he's one of those people who are the founder of a cool leading banks in Nigeria, and they say because maybe there is a personal relationship, or because they want to use the men's banks, although the name is not mentioned. That is the reason why they have to appoint him to be the person who is going to oversee the loan. The student's loan is actually going to ease off making it possible for those who have nobody to train them and to really have access to education. So some persons are actually of that opinion that the man, there is more to that, because of he has a bank or something like that. He's one of those, so they're going to use his bank, and that will enrich him as well. And they said, is it because he had this from the Harvard Business School or what? That is why. That there are other persons from other fields who could fit into that position. When they are saying it, just like you appointed someone outside from MBA to head MBA, you know. So for me, I think I love that appointment. I don't know about you.
Yes, the appointment is right. You know, I'm a man of what is right.
Yeah, sure. I know you, a man of impeccable character.
Yes.
A man who says the truth.
Yes. If the president actually appointed an engineer for that position, I will also right here say my own mind that the president wrongly appointed, and the president will also take it in good faith. Yes. So the truth remains that the president's appointment in this circumstance is right. It does not matter. It's not because it is not you. No, Nigeria has gone beyond why is it not my brother who actually possessed that, you know. No, we have gone beyond that. No matter whom the person is, the written is, has the person the relevant knowledge, requisite knowledge, understanding in that field to discharge the duty. That is the plank. So, in the circumstance, in as much as it's within the career of the person so appointed, I think the appointment is right. Now, the other one you mentioned, that it will enrich him, that goes to him personally, whether he is now going there to mal his or to actually showcase his integrity. That is what is left for him. He possesses the requisite knowledge. He has a bank, but the money is not for his bank. The money is to be used to do a specific act, and it is also be used as such. Like when I did mention MBA, I said it is just like, instead of using a lawyer as an MBA chairman, you now go and say a medical doctor, assuming maybe the government has a hand in producing who is the MBA chairman, assuming. Now you will now say a medical doctor should come and appointed, that he should actually see it as an opportunity to serve and not an opportunity to amass wealth.
Okay.
And not an opportunity to maybe embezzle money. He should not allow the position to call him before EFCC. You know, one thing is when you are appointed, people will celebrate you. But whether that appointment will bring you before EFCC, like the case of Hamefle, we will try to iron here. Whether the appointment will bring you before EFCC, you will be the one to determine that, sir. It is your own duty now to determine whether this appointment, it will end well.
All right. Well, that's it. Because either if the appointment did not make you, the appointment will mar you. Depending on what you've made, as in what you've really done in that office, okay? Because when it comes to money, I think people have to be very careful. All this while we've been talking about Yahaya Bello, how he misappropriated funds when he was a governor of Kogi State, and now he's running away. But now this man Ovia, Mr. Ovia, who has been really appointed by the president, that's much we can do, because once you're out of the office, you also have to be investigated if there's anything you've done or not. All right, we just want to conclude with this. The details of the funeral arrangement for the late actor, signed by his elder brother, Dr. Divine Odonwodo, on behalf of the family, indicated that besides the April 23 Requiem Mass at St. John Mary Vanney Parish in Asaba Delta State, another Requiem Mass is scheduled to be held at Christ the King Catholic Parish, GRA, Enugu, on May 13, 2024. On May 14, an evening of tribute and candlelight will follow at Amedo Event Center in Enugu at Uke, a community in Iwekiti Lake government area of the state. Pope will be buried on Friday, May 17, at his country home after a burial mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Ukehe. Interment will follow immediately after the burial of the actor. The burial arrangement will be wrapped up with a Thanksgiving Mass at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Ukehe, on May 20. Okay, that's the junior Pope. We lost him. He's a Nollywood actor. And at this point, we really want to send our condolences to the family of this disease. Nigerians in Nollywood at large, we lost out a great deal, because this is actually a preventable situation. It's a preventable death. He should have been allowed to take care of his family. And yes, this one is coming from me. I just want to say, send you my condolences, and also thank the E-Money who took it upon himself to say he is going to train the three children of the junior pope. So the burial arrangement has been fixed. Nigerians and the Nollywood, those who are concerned, if you really want to be part of that arrangement, you can also go there and sympathize with the family and condole with them. I don't know if you have a pattern words on this burial arrangement of this young man. What's your pattern words? Because we are already out. Our time is already up.
Yes, already. You know, we've discussed this issue last time, but this is what we're talking about, the burial. Well, the best thing to do for the dead is to bury the dead.
And for friends and well-wishers to attend.
For friends and well-wishers to attend.